What up, YouTube? Josh Coovey here. It is June 29th. 4th of July is coming up. Just figured I would do a video. I'm now seeing 315 more often than I'm not. So we'll say we are down to 315. I think the last video was probably like a month or two ago. We might have been like around the 320 area. But what I'm going to do is just upload a video every time I cement that 5-pound loss. And then hopefully in 60 weeks or 60 videos, I will be 0 pounds and life will be good. So right now I just kind of want to talk about what's working, what I kind of experimented with and didn't. Still intermittent fasting a lot of days, but I'm also making sure I track my calories. So right now I have 2,900 is in my bank, and I'm trying to either, just not exceed that really. If I have a day where I'm at like 2,500 calories and I hit my protein, awesome. That's a huge win, and we'll take it. But if I'm at 2,900 calories and my protein's a little bit lower, and I'm not starving, I'll just, try to keep it under. So prioritize, I guess, keeping under that calorie deficit, and then my protein, and then, and actually I'm equal with I always work out and usually get my steps in, so that's not a concern, but I'd put exercise and protein and weightlifting on that level, and then just making sure you're in some sort of calorie deficit most days of the week. So I did do a couple weeks where I really hopped into intermittent fasting, and I wasn't tracking, and I didn't really worry about my protein intake too much. I was making sure I had like at least 2 good meals in around like 6 p.m. I'd eat right after work, work out, maybe a protein shake, and then maybe one other meal after like the gym at like 10 p.m. So I wasn't even tracking, but to be honest, like if it was not a super lean source of meat, like a chicken breast or fish, which I don't really eat fish, the protein would have been pretty low. So like I was probably getting on average 150 grams to 200 grams of protein. I did that for a couple weeks. Honestly, my body didn't feel like it was like looking any better with the calorie deficit. My strength in the gym wasn't really increasing or anything like that. So after that, I was like, let's get back to the high protein. Right now, I don't really have an extreme target goal. If I'm at 230 grams of protein a day, that's fine. If I'm at 300 grams of protein a day and I'm in that calorie deficit that I'm looking for, that's awesome too. So like, now I'm eating a lot of lean meat. Like at the grocery store, a lot of times I would buy some 85-15 meat. Like just because it's cheap, like some frozen ground beef, 85-15, ground turkey, 85-15. But as soon as you start inputting that stuff into your phone app, you realize real quick, like, hey, that's not that much protein for a lot of calories. So this shopping trip around and for future shopping trips, I'm only doing 93.7 or higher. So ground turkey, ground beef, chicken is usually what I eat. And then maybe I'll start making some fish tacos soon too. I do like those. I just don't really cook a lot of fish right now. So always taking my fish oil though. Always have, always will, presumably. But yeah, I just kind of want to touch on that. So a big one, a couple weeks of like, hey, like that lower end of the protein spectrum. After a couple weeks of that, I'm way back on that high protein train. Anybody I'm talking to from now on, I'm saying get that protein up. If you're eating high protein, it instantly forces you to eat good quality food because there's not a lot of junk food with high protein, or like maybe like Quest chips or something crazy like that. But I'm not spending $5 on a bag of chips anyways. So typically you're stuck just cooking meats and things like that. So yeah, just kind of wanted to, that's probably my biggest takeaway after that like few weeks. I kind of felt like I was stagnant, whereas right now, and I was seeing like some like numbers on the scale, like I saw like 321, 319, 318, and I was like, all right, this is not the answer for me personally. I think a lot of people, the intermittent fast, they're probably naturally in that calorie range. That could definitely work for people. But for me, lifting like I lift and like wanting to look a more muscular probably, definitely more muscular than the average person might even want to look. Um, the high protein, which honestly, all my friends who look great, everybody in the fitness industry who looks great, they preach that anyway. So it's a little ridiculous that, I even like, there'd be a question about it. Protein, it's harder to break down your body, so you burn a little bit extra calories while breaking it down. So like 50 grams of protein or 50 calories of protein might burn a little bit extra calories than 50 calories of carbs. That always helps. And then it's extremely hard to break into fat, and it's satiating. So like, I think the biggest obstacle for weight loss journeys is just staying satiated. So more, if you're hungry and your protein intake's not high, I would start exploring that. So the tracking has been a game changer too. Just giving me extra eyes to see, hey, this is like how I'm eating, whatnot. It's kind of giving me a lot of flexibility. Like today's Sunday, so I woke up. Honestly, I had sushi last night. A big UFC card on, so I enjoyed that. Might have been a little bit over my calories. I did put in like 1,600 calories for sushi. God only knows, if it was like close to 1,600, if it was more, if it was less. Awesome if it was less, but probably not. But I'm definitely not sweating that. And the UFC card was awesome. So, well worth it. I enjoyed it. Woke up this morning craving junk food though. So I instantly was like, hey, we can either fast or we can work out, or we can eat a good breakfast, get on track the macros, track the food, and then have a great workout. And that's what I did. So I did 4 eggs, 4 pieces of sourdough bread with a little bit of butter. I put in like half a tablespoon of butter. Just make sure you're tracking that extra stuff. Even if you're not measuring it, just put something in there. Just because it's definitely not a freebie. You should be like tracking that if there's any question. But I'm not putting a little sliver of butter on my scale, like just whatever. I'm just not going to do it. So I throw 50 calories in the tracker, whatever. I'm done with it. And honestly, so that meal looking at, it's pretty high fat. It's not that high of protein if you're trying to get, 250 grams. That's only, 24 grams of proteins from the eggs. Sourdough bread actually has like some protein in it. It's like 6 or 8 grams for 4 slices. So, all right, we're at 32 grams. It's fine, for like a 200-pound person, that might be a little bit better. But being 315, trying to get, if I'm going to eat 4 meals, obviously it's kind of low. So I just tried this today, but I've been hearing like just put a protein powder in with your coffee. So I tried that today. It was actually pretty good. If not, I just drink my black coffee and then do a scoop, shaker cup, just scoop protein. And then boom, I'm at 50 grams of protein, 700 calories for breakfast. Like, ends up being a pretty good meal. So that's what I'm going to start doing. And I was doing it like the last couple weeks with my fattier meat because I'd have these like 600, 700 calorie meals cooked, and then the protein was low. So I would just do a scoop of protein. Just to make that macro friendlier to get that in. So that's like kind of been my big focus, the protein pushing. And so far it's been working good. My energy's been good. My strength in gym's been going up. Obviously it's probably been like 2 months of being like 320 to 315. So it's like, what have you been doing this whole time? So I think this is really important for weight loss, especially just to, you don't just focus on the scale. If your weight's going up, you should probably, start checking things. Definitely start tracking, and maybe reach out for help too if the scale is just going up. But if it's staying the same, your performance in the gym's better. You're feeling better. You're more positive in your day to day. Your social interactions are better. All that stuff matters and is important. So you can count those as wins. Especially someone like me who's got, 60 pounds down from like probably my heaviest, 375, 315. I probably got another 60 pounds to lose at least. And to look the way I want to look, that's not happening overnight. It's not even happening in the next 6 months. So like, you need other areas to focus on. But if you're the same weight and you're pushing, if I'm bench pressing what I was bench pressing when I was 40 pounds heavier, that's awesome, So those are good metrics to be aware of. Cardiovascular, like, oh yeah, I can hop on a treadmill and do these 20-minute mile walks, 3 miles, no problem. Before I couldn't. A real fat boy thing I've noticed is sometimes in the morning I would walk down the step. I would go one foot on the same step instead of alternating. Real fat boy. And just never having, just springing down the steps. I've noticed a huge difference. So it's important to be proud of yourself and, keep track of those little wins. So that's really what I've been focusing on. I would say it's real hot in Michigan right now. It's like been 90 like the last week or two. So I've been going a little stir crazy. A lot of time in the AC, a lot of times on the treadmill, doing my cardio, not really walking outside. So I'd say my mental health is probably like a 6 out of 10. So that I would like to work on as well. But the big thing is tracking for me has been real good, giving me accountability. And it also just sets a good tone for the day. I track my first meal, it's in, I have a general idea. And especially like I can cut on 2,900 calories as long as I'm consistent throughout the week. I can't do 2,900 6 days and then eat a pizza and knock out that deficit. But I do think I can get some long-term weight loss with this structure. So a lot of times it's like, hey, it's 5 o'clock and I'm only like 900 calories in, which is a great feeling, especially if you got like some protein meals. I was having trouble cooking chicken breast for a while, like not cooking it, but eating it was so chewy. So this is probably a no-brainer, but I started tenderizing my chicken breast. And lo and behold, it doesn't hurt my teeth anymore, which also like kind of should probably be like a teeth problem. But I've been going to the dentist following up on that anyways. But yeah, so if you don't tenderize your chicken or just meat in general, you should probably just start tenderizing it. Makes it a lot easier to eat. And then I have noticed, which I don't know if this is good or bad, but like chicken breast, as soon as I started tenderizing it and the water came out, my 300-gram chicken breast ended up being like 200 grams. So like, I was counting the 300 and I was like, man, each of these chicken breasts is like 120 grams of protein, 2 of them a day, and I'm set. But I don't know, just kind of a interesting observation and maybe like some reasons why some of your readings could be wrong, things like that. But as long as you're consistent, it doesn't matter. So, so everything's been going good. I do want to, hopefully this 310 video is going to be coming out quick because I do feel like the momentum's there for me. But who knows? Because, last video was probably like 2 or 3 months ago and I probably said the same thing. So, just want to do a check-in. Things are going good. The big focus is for me is my lifts have been awesome. Strength's been like, I'm probably like close to as strong as I've ever been on a lot of lifts. Probably not like the big 3 or anything, but like the bodybuilding stuff I do. And it's definitely not too bad. So I think I did 2. I've only barbell pressed the last like twice in the last month, and that was like the first time in a year or two. And I hit 245 for 8, no spot, 225 for 12. And that's fine. Like if I can hop on and do 2 plates on the incline for like, 15 reps, I'm happy for now. 315 for 10, I always thought was cool though. So like maybe we'll start chasing that number, like just for a fun lift to chase. But we'll see what's up. I had like a broken bone in my palm, so I couldn't really barbell press for like over a year. So I just kind of started doing a machine press, which I get pretty heavy on, or it's like plate loaded. And it's like incline. I get up to like 4.25 on that, which is quite a bit of weight for me at least. So we're going into 4th of July weekend, so I'm blessed to have a cottage to go up to, some of my family members. So the name of the game is just to get my lifts in this week and then track up north the best I can, just to make sure I don't get any fatter, really, gain any weight. And a couple weeks ago, I was up and I tracked everything, man. I was like buying protein bar, protein shakes at the gas station, just eating like 80 grams of like processed protein shit. But now I don't recommend it, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do on vacation. So good mindset going in, but again, man, I'd like to see that 310 video coming out like middle of July. But I'm not going to sweat it. This is definitely a marathon. I'm the lightest I've been in 6 years, but man, it took a long time to gain all that weight up. So I gotta love myself a little bit, love yourself, and just know you're doing the best you can do at the time. But yeah, just a great little check-in here, 315. We'll just do a quick little flex there. I don't love what I see, but that's all right. We'll get there. So appreciate it. Thanks, guys.